Welcome to Daily Deep Dive. Today, we are tackling a question that's, well, fundamental to any nation. Who actually is a citizen? We're going to break down all the rules that define Indian citizenship, from the core ideas to the things that make India's approach so unique. Let's dive in.
So, here's our game plan. First, we'll get into the difference between a citizen and an alien. Then, we'll explore the different ways you can acquire citizenship and, of course, how you can lose it. Finally, we'll wrap up by looking at what makes India's system pretty special.
All right, let's start with the absolute foundation. You see, every modern country, India included, splits people into two main groups, citizens and aliens. And the whole difference really just boils down to two big ideas, rights and allegiance. So the distinction is actually pretty clear-cut. A citizen is a full-fledged member of the country. They owe it their loyalty, and in return, they get to enjoy all the civil and political rights. An alien, on the other hand, is a citizen of another country, so they don't get that full package. And they're even split into friendly or enemy aliens. And believe me, the latter have way fewer protections, especially when it comes to things like arrest and detention.
And this is why this whole distinction is so incredibly important. The Indian Constitution sets aside a very specific bunch of fundamental rights just for its citizens. I mean, we're talking about the cornerstones of civic life here: protection from discrimination, equality in getting government jobs, freedom of speech, the right to vote, and even being able to hold the highest offices in the land, like becoming president or a Supreme Court judge.
Okay, so that's what a citizen is, but how do you actually become one? Well, the Constitution figured out who was a citizen right when it started in 1950, but it basically handed Parliament the job of making the detailed rules for the future. And what came out of that is this key law, the Citizenship Act of 1955. This is the main rule book for everything, both getting and losing citizenship.
And that act is super structured. It lays out five distinct legal ways to get Indian citizenship. Let's break them down.
Here are the 5 pathways. First, you've got citizenship by birth if you're born in India, though, interestingly, those rules have gotten a lot stricter over time, mainly because of concerns about illegal immigration. Now it depends more on who your parents are. Second, by descent, for people born outside India to Indian parents. Third, through registration, which is often for people of Indian origin or those married to Indian citizens. Then there's naturalization, for foreigners who've lived here a while and meet certain requirements. And last, if India brings a new territory into the country, its people can become citizens.
But, it's a two-way street. What can be gained can also be lost. And the Citizenship Act is just as specific about how you can lose your citizenship. It's not random. There are very clear legal reasons.
The law gives us 3 specific ways a person can stop being a citizen of India. Each one is totally different, covering everything from you making a choice to the government having to step in.
And it's really crucial to get the difference here. Renunciation, that's you voluntarily raising your hand and saying, "I'm out." Termination is automatic. The second you willingly become a citizen of another country, your Indian citizenship just, poof, it's gone. And then there's deprivation. Now that's the serious one. That's the government stepping in and taking it away. And it's reserved for big things like getting citizenship by fraud, being disloyal to the Constitution, or talking to the enemy during a war. Okay, let's zoom out for a second. Every country writes its citizenship laws based on its own history and what it wants to be. And India made some really specific, really unique choices, especially when it comes to this idea of single citizenship and a special status for people of Indian origin abroad.
So here's something really interesting. Unlike federal countries, like the USA or Switzerland, India chose single citizenship. What does that mean? It means you're a citizen of India. Period. You're not also a citizen of Punjab or Kerala. An American, by contrast, is a citizen of the USA and of California or Texas. India's system was built this way to make sure every single citizen has the same rights no matter where they are in the country, and to stop states from playing favorites with their own residents.
Now, this next part is where people often get tripped up. India offers something called an Overseas Citizen of India, or OCI card. This is for people of Indian origin who are now citizens of other countries. It gives them some cool perks, like traveling to India without a visa. But, and let's be absolutely crystal clear on this, it is not dual citizenship. The Indian Constitution flat out forbids it.
And to really hammer that point home, just look at all the things OCI card holders are not allowed to do. They can't vote. They can't run for parliament. They can't hold top jobs like president or vice president. And they can't be appointed as judges in the Supreme Court or high courts. This list makes it pretty obvious that while the OCI card offers some great benefits, it does not give you the full political rights of an actual citizen.
So why? Why did India's founders go with single citizenship? Well, it all comes back to this one core idea.
The goal was to build a single, unified Indian nation. By making sure everyone was a citizen of India first, with their main loyalty to the country as a whole, the hope was to build a sense of unity and brotherhood that was bigger than any regional identity.
And that really leaves us with a final big question to chew on. In a world where people, ideas, and money are moving across borders faster than ever, the very idea of a citizen is being put to the test. How a country decides who belongs and what that belonging even means, it doesn't just tell us about its past, it's actively shaping its identity and its future. Thanks so much for joining this deep dive. If you found this insightful, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel Daily Deep Dive for more.